So next we'll have a set of 4 questions which each candidate give for the other candidate. First I'll ask the questions from Arpit Pawan Agrawal. Yeah, so the format is we'll be asking 4 questions. You'll be given a time of 1 minute to answer each question. Thereafter, you'll be given a time of, the other candidate will be given a time of 30 seconds to rebut on that question. So the first question is from Arpit Pawan Agrawal. The first question is, it's regarding your manifesto point buy and sell portal. Yeah. Can you explain the permission procedure through which you, a student, would be allowed to do monetary transactions?
Okay. So through this buy and sell portal, I'm not going to do any monetary transactions myself. ये एक portal होगा that will be just an interface for people to interact. मतलब अगर किसी को कुछ बेचना है तो that person can just make an entry कि I have this stuff, जो चीज़ मुझे बेचनी है, and जिसको खरीदना है that person can directly log on to the portal और वो चीज़ देख सकता है कि if this thing is available or not, and then the contact details and the other details of the product will be mentioned on the portal. वो उन लोगों से पूछा जाएगा जब वो लोग entry बना रहे हैं उस चीज़ की, and those persons can get in contact and basically do the monetary transactions between themselves. So I will not be involved during any monetary transactions as a General Secretary Cultural Affairs.
Okay, so the next question is, Institute magazine has been proposed and tried earlier also, but it did not work. It did not work out. So can you explain what will you be doing differently in this particular context?
So first of all, I'm introducing new magazines like English Writing Magazine, script book, art book, and a photo magazine which I introduced in my photography and fine art secretary tenure. So the reason why this year Spandan was not published was because we didn't get the budget for the printing of the particular magazine. But through this point, I'm proposing that I'll publish the magazines online and give a platform to people who are from non-performing arts to showcase their talent online. Online magazines will have a better outreach as compared to magazines which are in printed form. There will be printed copies, limited number of printed copies in each hostels and public places. So that's particularly the whole point.
Any cross question, Arpit? Yeah. So the next question is, the cultural hub on DC++ has been a point for 3 years now. What is your approach and how is it going to be any different from the approaches of both the previous tenures?
So the DC++ has already been approved by SAC, by the authorities. So we will have a 24/7 PC which will be installed in SAC, which has already been approved. Hence I have just written that I'll ensure that a DC++ hub which will contain the archives, videos, tutorials.
Yeah, so it has been approved by the authorities, and we are just waiting for the SAC authorities to buy the comp. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, it has been approved.
So it has been approved, and hence I have just written that I will just ensure that the archive is updated regularly, and we basically have enough information, enough content on the hub, so as to basically give students maximum benefit in terms of tutorials, last 10 years or GC entries, PAF entries, so that people can just have a look at them and basically get an idea how things are done in the institute and what has been the culture since the last X years.
Any question, Pawan? Yeah. So the last question is, how is the cultural portfolio gonna be initiated in debating practically?
So the only point of the cultural portfolio is basically to exhibit the cultural legacy of the institute. So what will be there in the cultural portfolio will be the present status of the each of the genres. Basically, suppose talking about dramatics, so we will have what is the history of the Fourth Wall Club. What are the events that we generally organize? What are the achievements, the past achievements, and the things that we basically do throughout the year, the flagship events. So basically, the online cultural portfolio will give an outsider a very detailed insight on how the cultural scenario of the institute is presently working. This will even help in contacting for flagship events as well. So basically, this is the only funda behind the cultural.
Yeah, I understand your funda for the portfolio, and I think it's a very good point. But my only concern was how it will be implemented for debating.
The same will be done in debating as well. We will include the. We will basically speak about the. We'll basically include the activities that we are having in the institute in debating scene, the flagship events that we hold ND, we hold the Speaking Arts Festival, Hindi Utsav, such kind of events, then we will basically put our achievements of the last 10 years or so. So basically everything will be uniform across all genres.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Okay, so next 4 questions are to Arpit Ravindra Agrawal. So the first question is, don't you think a GS Cult's major work is making policies and enriching overall culture activities at institute scale and not just changing the name of an event or what the council members wear?
Yeah, I agree with you, but that was, I mean, those are not the only points on my manifesto. There are also a lot of policy reforms and other things that I'm going to be changing.
Especially talking about those 2 points that he mentioned.
Why? Because I don't think anyone apart from the GS Cult has the authority to actually take up the initiative and change those things. So if it has to be done, it has to be done by the GS Cult and no one else. So that's it. That's my only reason for putting it.
But keeping the responsibilities of a GS Cult in mind, do you think these points are worth mentioning on a GS manifesto, since there are hundreds of other issues to be addressed by a GS Cult?
Oh, so if I got your question correctly, you mean to say that I've wasted points to put in, I mean wasted space on my manifesto to include these
Not
points?
just
Something like
wasted space. The thing that I'm asking you is that there are hundred of other responsibilities that a GS Cult has to address to. Do you think these are the points that are worth mentioning on your manifesto, apart from thinking about or mentioning other reforms that you're going to do basically for those problems?
I get your concern, but again, like I mentioned, I thought that these were very important and these had to be changed. And so if it has to be done, it has to be on my manifesto. I had to put it. There was no other way. That's it.
Arpit,
how do you think-
you cannot cross question again. So the next question is, don't you think providing pizzas as refreshment to incentivize participation is a wrong and impractical way to promote cult? Impracticality in terms of budget.
About the wrong part, I do not see anything wrong about giving incentives to participants. I know we all agree that people in the institute are very lazy and they need any sort of incentive to get them out of their rooms and come to the venue of an event. So having incentives, I do not think it is wrong in any way. About the budget part, it was just once per cult genre per semester. And so again, I do not think it will put a lot of strain on the budget either.
Regarding the budget part, it will put a lot of strain because there is a very limited refreshment budget that we get that we have to maintain for the whole year. And about the wrong part, basically, don't you think that increasing the quality of events would be a better thing to
that we will try to do anyway. This was
but
just an
don't you
additional
think that
thing.
is the main point?
Fine. I completely agree that improving the quality of the events should be done, and I'm sure it is being tried. Every SECI tries to do that. But again, that is not enough of an incentive to get people out of their rooms and come attend events. So that's it.
Okay, so the next question is, are you aware of the fact that institute authorities are against the idea of collaborations with outside colleges and providing subsidies for international tournaments?
Yes, I am aware of the fact that the institute has a policy against providing subsidies for international tournaments.
And for against the idea of collaboration with outside colleges.
By collaboration, it need not be a formal collaboration with the college. What I proposed was that we will have events and we will send out invitations to the other colleges which I've mentioned, and they're free to come and participate in the events. And I don't think the institute has any restrictions on that.
Yeah, institute has. Yeah.
Okay. So I wasn't aware of that. I'll try to push for that then. And same about the incentivizing the participants.
Okay. So the last question is, any cross question, Arpit Agarwal? Yeah. So the last question is, are you aware of the lifestyle club that has been approved by Dean to cater to the fashion, cuisine, and cinema? How does your proposal of setting up a cooking club will be different from the already approved lifestyle club?
The idea of it was exclusively supposed to be a cooking club. I thought that again a lot of people are interested in cooking as an activity, and there was no platform for that.
So that was the reason why Lifestyle Club was actually proposed and it has already been approved.
Yeah, but there
will
has
it have
been
anything different from Lifestyle Club, or you are proposing to basically?
I also proposed to set up a barbecue or a cooking room in SAC, and it
So
was
are you
only.
planning to are you planning to execute the lifestyle club? with
Arpit,
the
you cannot
cooking?
ask. Yeah, Arpit. Arpit Ravindra Agrawal, you need to answer.
Let him complete the question. Let him complete the answer. Yeah, that's it.
So, yes, my focus would be more on the cooking part, and I propose to start a separate cooking club, which will make sure so that just to ensure that it will be done. That's it.